Every greatest scientific discovery of all time, scientific advancements have significantly changed our perception of the world and our place in it throughout history. These turning points have impacted many disciplines and had an impact on human thought, from the groundbreaking theory of evolution that explains the diversity of life to the revolutionary idea of heliocentrism that altered our understanding of the universe. In this video, we will highlight 7 of the most important scientific findings, each of which was a turning point in our understanding of the natural world. Number 7. Heliocentrism. The early 16th century Nicolaus Copernicus model, known as heliocentrism, drastically changed how humans saw the world and our place in it. The geocentric paradigm, which maintained that Earth was the center of the universe and was endorsed by classical intellectuals like Aristotle and Ptolemy, was the prevalent theory prior to Copernicus. In 1543, Copernicus published his key work, De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelestium, which contradicted this long-held belief. He proposed that Earth was not the center of the cosmos, but rather the Sun, and that all planets, including Earth, orbited the Sun in circular motion. In addition to simplifying the explanation of planetary motions and more elegantly explaining retrograde motion than the geocentric model, the heliocentric model also set the stage for further developments in astronomy. A move in science toward empirical observation and mathematical reasoning was sparked by the adoption of heliocentrism. Elliptical orbits were introduced by later astronomers like Johannes Kepler to further improve Copernicus's theories, while Galileo Galilei's telescopic views yielded vital evidence in favor of heliocentrism, including the moons of Jupiter and the phases of Venus. This paradigm change signaled a turning point in the scientific revolution by encouraging a wider examination of conventional wisdom and beliefs, and in the end, altering people's conception of the world. Number 6. Theory of relativity. One of the most influential theories in contemporary physics, Albert Einstein's theory of relativity drastically altered our conceptions of space, time, and gravity. Published in 1905, the special theory of relativity presented novel ideas that contradicted the principles of classical mechanics. One of its main premises is that physical laws apply similarly whether you are at rest or traveling at a steady speed, as they are invariant across all inertial frames. This theory's key finding is that light moves at a constant speed independent of the observer's motion. Time dilation, the phenomena where time passes at different rates for observers in different frames of reference, and length contraction, where things appear shorter when approaching close to light speed, are 2 revolutionary implications that resulted from this. These concepts were developed further by Einstein in his general theory of relativity, published in 1915, which redefined gravity as a mass-induced curvature of space-time rather than a force. The space-time surrounding massive objects such as planets and stars warps, causing other things to follow curved paths. Einstein's renowned thought experiment, which involves a heavy ball put on a stretched rubber sheet, serves as an example of this idea. Beyond theoretical physics, the consequences have affected systems like GPS satellites, whose accuracy depends on accounting for relativistic effects. Number 5. Evolution by natural selection. One of the most profound scientific theories ever put out is Charles Darwin's idea of evolution by natural selection, which offers a thorough framework for comprehending biological diversity and adaptability across time. After years of careful study and observation during his voyage on the HMS Beagle, Darwin's proposal was published in On the Origin of Species in 1859. He termed this mechanism natural selection, which he proposed explains how species evolve. Individuals with advantageous traits are more likely to survive and reproduce. His research on a range of species in many habitats demonstrated how environmental stresses lead to adaptations. For instance, finches on the Galapagos Islands displayed differences in beak form and size based on the availability of food. This theory shattered accepted beliefs about fixed species and divine creation, sparking important discussions at the time in both the scientific and theological worlds. Gregor Mendel's subsequent research on genetics, which offered a mechanism for inheritance through alleles traits given from parents to children that may be subject to variation and selection, further strengthened the hypothesis. Evolutionary concepts underlie the life sciences, as evidenced by the continued application of evolutionary biology to a variety of domains, including ecology, conservation biology, and medicine. Number 4. Germ theory of disease. The theory of germs and disease shown that many diseases are caused by microorganisms, bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites, rather than miasmas or poor air, which profoundly changed medical knowledge and public health practices. This idea, which was developed in the late 19th century and was initially proposed by scientists like Louis Pasteur and Robert Koch, was the result of meticulous study and observation at a time when infectious diseases were common and poorly understood. In addition to proving that bacteria are the cause of spoiling and the spread of disease, Pasteur's revolutionary work on fermentation refuted the theory of spontaneous generation, which holds that living things can develop from inanimate objects. In order to prove a causal link between a germ and a disease, Koch devised his postulates, which are a set of criteria that he eventually utilized to identify specific infections associated with certain diseases, such as Bacillus anthracis and Mycobacterium TB. Following Fleming's discovery of penicillin, this new understanding resulted in revolutionary advancements in immunization development, sanitation standards, and antibiotic medicines. In addition to revolutionizing medicine, the germ theory established the field of microbiology, which is still studying the roles of pathogens in the dynamics of health and illness today. Number 3. Penicillin. Alexander Fleming's 1928 discovery of penicillin was a turning point in medical history that has significant ramifications for the management of bacterial infections. Fleming saw an odd phenomenon while researching Staphylococcus bacteria at St. Mary's Hospital in London. Colonies close to a mold known as Penicillium notatum were being destroyed by it. Inspired by this coincidental finding, he conducted research to extract penicillin, the first real antibiotic, and show that it could stop bacterial development without endangering human cells. But it was not until World War II that penicillin was mass-produced to treat infections in injured soldiers. This innovation significantly decreased death rates on battlefields where bacterial infections posed serious risks in addition to combat-related injuries. During the antibiotic revolution, penicillin's success sparked additional research into other antibiotics like streptomycin and tetracycline, ushering in a time when formerly incurable infections were suddenly treatable. Antibiotics are still essential in contemporary medicine today, but overuse of them has resulted in an increase in antibiotic resistance. This problem highlights the necessity for further research into novel antimicrobial drugs while encouraging appropriate usage practices in all healthcare settings. Number 2. DNA structure. With its profound effects on genetics and molecular biology, the 1953 discovery of DNA's double helix structure by James Watson and Francis Crick is frequently considered as one of the greatest scientific achievements in history. Their discovery was made possible by the significant contributions of other scientists, including Rosalind Franklin, whose X-ray diffraction photographs shed light on the helical form of DNA, a crucial component absent from previous models put forth by scientists like Linus Pauling. Watson and Crick postulated that DNA is made up of two strands that are wound around one another, with nucleotide bases bonding in particular to create rungs on a structure like a twisted ladder and called a double helix. This arrangement clarified the storage of genetic information as well as how it can be duplicated during cell division, which is an essential mechanism for passing down genetic information from one generation to the next. Their approach not only laid the foundation for modern breakthroughs like genetic engineering techniques, but it also shed light on the mechanics behind mutations that result in genetic variety, which is necessary for evolution. Gene therapy, a treatment for genetic abnormalities, is one example of how the insight obtained from studying DNA has greatly impacted medicine and transformed industries ranging from forensic science to biotechnology. Number 1. The Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory is one of the most important cosmological theories that explain how our universe began and developed over the course of about 13.8 billion years. At that time, matter was infinitely dense, and it rapidly expanded into the universe we know today, which is made up of planets, galaxies, stars, and other cosmic structures. Established by scientists such as George Lemaitre, who initially postulated an expanding universe through solutions derived from Einstein's general relativity equations and Edwin Hubble's observations of galaxies moving away from us. The Big Bang model gained momentum throughout much of the mid-20th century due to mounting evidence in favor of this framework, including cosmic microwave background radiation inadvertently discovered by Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson. This offers leftover glow from this early hot state, which was hypothesized during the first expansion phase, appeared about 380,000 years after the creation event, when protons and electrons join to form neutral hydrogen atoms. It enables photons to ultimately escape into space and producing the microwave background radiation that we currently observe as pervading the entire universe uniformly in all directions, verifying assumptions stated within the Big Bang cosmological framework itself. Researchers are currently investigating the nature of these mysterious elements that underlie reality itself, while also raising more questions about how dark matter phenomena influence the dynamics of cosmic expansion as it is currently observed. These discoveries have had a significant impact on our comprehension in numerous scientific fields and are still influencing how people think about existence in general. If you liked our video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel.